An appeal to authority is a common logical fallacy that occurs when someone argues that a claim must be true simply because it comes from an authority figure, expert, or person of high status. While it's natural for people to trust experts, this fallacy becomes a problem when we rely on authority in place of evidence or when the authority figure is speaking outside of their field of expertise. The fallacy works because humans have an inherent tendency to trust those in power or with perceived knowledge. This instinct is grounded in centuries of social and cultural evolution, where leaders, teachers, and elders played vital roles in guiding groups through complex decisions. However, not all authorities are equal, and expertise in one area doesn't automatically translate to another. For example, just because someone is a renowned actor or athlete doesn't mean their endorsement of a medical treatment or dietary supplement should be taken at face value. Similarly, even a seasoned economist might not be qualified to speak on issues of psychology or philosophy, yet people often accept their opinions in areas outside their expertise because of their perceived authority. This reliance on authority, while sometimes convenient, can lead to poor decision-making and the spread of misinformation. To better understand this fallacy, we need to explore why it's so persuasive, how it works, and the real-world consequences of failing to question authority claims. Chapter 1. The psychology behind the appeal to authority.
Trust in experts and leaders. Humans are social creatures who have evolved to trust those in positions of power and authority. Historically, individuals relied on the knowledge of elders, religious leaders, and warriors to guide them through survival challenges. This created an ingrained instinct to defer to authority figures, assuming that their knowledge is superior and that they know best. However, in modern times, we are bombarded with more information than ever, and we often don't have the time or expertise to research everything ourselves. This is where cognitive shortcuts come in. Relying on experts can be useful, but it becomes a problem when we stop questioning whether these experts are qualified to speak on certain subjects or when their claims go unchecked. Social hierarchies. Human societies are structured around hierarchies, and we tend to defer to those we see at the top. This hierarchical thinking means that we are more likely to trust people in powerful positions, assuming that they are more knowledgeable than the average person. Whether it's a politician, CEO, or religious leader, their opinions are often accepted without much scrutiny simply because of their position in the social order. This deference to authority is reinforced by cultural conditioning. From a young age, we are taught to trust teachers, doctors, and public figures. While these individuals often play vital roles in society, their opinions must still be backed by evidence. When we skip the step of evaluating the validity of their claims, we fall into the appeal to authority fallacy. Cognitive ease and decision-making. Another reason appeals to authority are so persuasive is that they offer cognitive ease. Making complex decisions or evaluating detailed arguments requires mental effort, and in a world where time is limited, people naturally seek shortcuts to simplify their choices. Trusting an authority figure allows us to make a quick judgment without having to critically analyze the issue ourselves. For example, instead of reading peer-reviewed studies or researching the effectiveness of a particular medical treatment, many people are content to accept the opinion of a famous doctor or TV personality. While this can be an efficient way to make decisions, it's important to recognize when this reliance is misplaced. Confirmation bias. Appeals to authority are also reinforced by confirmation bias, the tendency to favor information that confirms our pre-existing beliefs. When an authority figure supports what we already think, we're more likely to accept their opinion as truth. This is particularly dangerous when the authority figure is speaking outside of their field of expertise, or when the claim is not backed by solid evidence.
Chapter 2. How the appeal to authority works. The appeal to authority fallacy works by leveraging trust in individuals with status, expertise, or power. However, it becomes a fallacy when we accept a claim solely because of the person delivering it, rather than looking at the evidence behind the claim. Legitimate versus false authority. It's important to distinguish between legitimate authority and false authority. Legitimate authorities are experts in their field with credentials, experience, and a track record of peer-reviewed research. When such experts provide opinions that are backed by evidence, it makes sense to trust them. On the other hand, false authority occurs when someone without the necessary expertise or qualifications is cited as an expert, or when an authority figure speaks outside of their area of competence. For example, a well-known author on history might not be a qualified authority on nutrition, yet their fame may lead people to trust their opinions on a health-related topic. Argument from authority. An argument from authority occurs when someone claims that something must be true because an authority figure said so. This bypasses the need for evidence or reasoning. While trusting experts can be reasonable, the fallacy arises when we fail to question the authority's qualifications or ask for supporting evidence. For instance, someone might argue, "This must be the best smartphone on the market because a tech influencer says so." This is an appeal to authority, and the claim should be evaluated based on the evidence, such as performance reviews, not just the influencer's endorsement. In the world of politics, appeals to authority are commonly used to sway public opinion. Politicians often rely on their status or power to promote policies or ideas without fully justifying them with evidence.
Political power and influence. Political leaders often wield enormous influence, and their supporters may accept their views on issues outside their expertise. For example, a career politician may make sweeping claims about education reform or healthcare, even if they lack experience in these areas. Their political authority is used to make their claims more persuasive, even when the evidence supporting them is weak. Endorsements and authority. Political endorsements are another form of the appeal to authority. Voters may be swayed by endorsements from popular figures, assuming that if a well-known person supports a candidate, that candidate must be competent or trustworthy. However, endorsements should not replace a critical evaluation of the candidate's policies and qualifications. Cult of personality. In some cases, political leaders cultivate a cult of personality, where their authority becomes so overwhelming that their followers accept everything they say without question. This can be dangerous, as it shuts down critical thinking and leads to blind loyalty. Leaders may use their authority to justify questionable policies or actions, relying on their supporters' trust rather than evidence.
Chapter 4. Appeal to authority in science and academia. In academia and science, authority figures play a vital role in advancing knowledge. However, the appeal to authority fallacy can occur when experts' claims are accepted without question or when they speak outside of their area of expertise. The role of expertise in science. In science, experts rely on evidence, experimentation, and peer review to validate their claims. Trusting experts in their field is often justified when their opinions are backed by strong evidence. However, problems arise when authority figures make claims that are not based on robust evidence or when their authority is used to suppress debate. Misuse of authority in academia. In academic settings, the appeal to authority fallacy can occur when scholars rely too heavily on their credentials to assert opinions rather than providing sufficient evidence. For example, a well-known professor in one field may make claims about an unrelated field, but their status leads others to accept their arguments without critically evaluating the evidence. The importance of consensus. While individual experts can provide valuable insights, it's important to recognize the role of scientific consensus. When a consensus emerges from multiple experts who have conducted independent research, it is usually more reliable than the opinion of a single authority figure. The appeal to authority is frequently used in media and advertising to persuade consumers and viewers. News outlets, advertisers and influencers often rely on authority figures to endorse products or ideas, sometimes without sufficient evidence.
Authority figures in media. News outlets often rely on commentators or experts to provide insights on complex issues. However, when these figures speak outside their field or when their opinions are presented without supporting evidence, viewers may be misled. In particular, media personalities are often treated as authorities on a wide range of topics, from economics to health, even though their actual expertise may be limited. This reliance on authority figures in media can lead to the spread of misinformation. Appeal to authority in advertising. In advertising, companies frequently use celebrities or authority figures to endorse products. While these endorsements can build trust, they often rely on the fame or reputation of the individual rather than evidence of the product's effectiveness. For example, a famous athlete may endorse a dietary supplement, leading consumers to trust the product without looking for scientific studies to back the claims. Similarly, phrases like doctor recommended or approved by experts are used to create an impression of authority, even when the evidence behind the product is weak.
Chapter 6. The dangers of the appeal to authority. The appeal to authority fallacy has real-world consequences, particularly when it discourages critical thinking or leads to the spread of misinformation. By accepting the word of authority figures without questioning the evidence behind their claims, people risk making decisions that are not based on facts.
Misinformation and public opinion. One of the biggest dangers of relying too heavily on authority is the potential for misinformation to spread unchecked. When an authority figure makes a statement that is incorrect or misleading, it can be difficult to undo the damage once the public has accepted it as fact. For example, in the world of advertising, a popular figure might endorse a health product or a new diet trend, encouraging people to adopt it without examining whether it is truly effective or safe. Consumers may take the endorsement at face value because of the authority behind it, not realizing that the product may lack scientific backing. This can lead to wasted money, health risks, or even the perpetuation of ineffective or harmful practices. Suppressing critical thinking. Another consequence of the appeal to authority is that it discourages people from thinking critically about the information they encounter. When people are conditioned to trust authority figures without question, they may stop analyzing evidence or questioning whether claims are valid. This erosion of critical thinking can have serious implications for society. If individuals rely on authority figures to make decisions for them, they may become passive consumers of information, accepting whatever they are told without considering alternative viewpoints or seeking out the truth for themselves. Manipulation by authority figures. There is also a risk of manipulation when authority figures misuse their power to promote false or self-serving agendas. This is especially concerning in politics and media, where leaders and public figures can use their influence to push policies or ideas that benefit themselves at the expense of the public. For instance, a business leader might use their authority to lobby for policies that benefit their company, framing their arguments as being in the public's interest even though they stand to gain financially. The public, trusting the authority of the business leader, may not question whether the policies are truly beneficial to society.
Being aware of the appeal to authority fallacy is the first step in avoiding it. While it's natural to trust experts, it's crucial to recognize when this trust is misplaced and when authority is being used to replace actual evidence.
Spotting the fallacy. To spot the appeal to authority fallacy, ask yourself the following questions. Is the person making the claim truly an expert in this specific field? Are they providing evidence for their claim, or are they relying solely on their status? Are they speaking within their area of expertise, or are they stepping outside of it? By asking these questions, you can begin to separate genuine expertise from the fallacy of authority. Demanding evidence. The best way to avoid the appeal to authority fallacy is to always demand evidence. Even when an authority figure speaks, their claim should be supported by data, research, or evidence. Simply trusting someone because they are famous, powerful, or respected is not enough to make their statement true. For example, if a politician promotes a particular policy, ask for studies that show the policy's effectiveness. If a celebrity endorses a product, look for independent reviews or scientific research that supports the product's claims. By focusing on evidence rather than authority, you can make more informed decisions. Evaluating expertise. Not all authorities are created equal, and it's important to evaluate whether the person speaking is truly qualified to make the claims they're presenting. Just because someone is an expert in one field doesn't mean their opinion should be trusted in another. For example, a successful business person might be highly knowledgeable about running a company, but that doesn't make them an expert on healthcare or education policy. Before accepting their opinion, consider whether their expertise applies to the issue at hand.
The appeal to authority fallacy can lead to the spread of misinformation, the suppression of critical thinking, and the manipulation of public opinion. While authority figures and experts play a valuable role in guiding society, it's essential to question the claims they make and demand evidence to support their assertions. In a world where information is more accessible than ever, practicing critical thinking is crucial. Whenever you encounter an appeal to authority, ask yourself whether the claim is supported by evidence, whether the person making the claim is qualified, and whether their opinion has been properly scrutinized. Ultimately, by fostering a mindset of skepticism and inquiry, you can avoid being misled by the appeal to authority fallacy and become a more informed, independent thinker.
Remember to like and subscribe for more video content. Sapiens quae vigilat.